As we know, in just a few days, we'll be experiencing, God willing, the holiday of Shavuot. And while this holiday of Shavuos will be totally different than any other Shavuos that we have experienced thus before, we still have to remember the idea that this is still going to be Shavuos. It's still going to be the holiday in which we received the Torah so many thousands of years ago. And one would be remiss if they did not mention the Gemara in Shabbos, the beautiful Gemara that many of us are aware of, the Gemara of Shabbos on Daf Samach Chesem Aleph that says, "V'tzekuli Alma." Everyone agrees, B'Shabbos nitna Torah Yisrael, that it was on Shabbos that the Jewish people received the Torah. And God willing, this year we'll be able to experience that literally, as Shavuos is going to land on Shabbos itself. We'll be able to experience the receiving of the Torah both on both days of Shavuos, on Friday, Erev Shabbos, and on Shabbos itself. But the real question is that we have to ask ourselves is, how do we know if we are truly ready to receive the Torah? We know that Shavuos is about Matan Torah, it's about giving and receiving the Torah, but how do we know we are truly ready to receive the Torah? And to answer this question, I'd like to read for you one of the most famous Mishnayos in all of Pirkei Avos that I believe so poignantly answers this question. The Mishnah reads as follows: Ben Bagbag Omer, a man by the name of Ben Bagbag. Who is Ben Bagbag? We'll have to see in a second, but we don't really know who Ben Bagbag was. But Ben Bagbag, an interesting name certainly, says, Hafochba v'hafochba dekulaba. You want to know how to learn Torah? Very simple how to learn Torah. You have to keep going through it over and over and over again, because only through your constant repetition and learning over and over from this angle and from that angle will you really see the kolaba, that everything is inside of it. One additional Mishnah, the concurrent Mishnah to that, says Ben Hey Omer, another fascinating name that we'll have to try and understand why this person is named that. But Ben Hey says Lefum Tzara Agra, that it's according to the amount that a person is able to work and put in time to the Torah that a person will truly be able to understand what the Torah is all about. But you need to commit to it if you want to get anything out of it. And I think that the overwhelming question that we have to ask, as we just alluded to a moment ago, is why are these two Tanaim the people that were chosen to teach us these ideas? Wouldn't these very deep concepts about the Torah be more suited to come from some of the more famous names, some of the more famous tonight? Maybe Rabbi Akiva should have been the one to have said this about Torah. Certainly, he was someone who became religious a little bit later in life. How beautiful would it have been if Rabbi Akiva would have taught this? What about Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, right, the writer, the composer of Mishnayos? Wouldn't he have been a little bit more fitting? One of the names that we know a little bit more, wouldn't that have made more sense to teach us what seemed to be two essential facts and two essential foundations of our belief in what it means to study Torah, of what it means to receive Torah? Why does the Pirkei Avos specifically teach these ideas in the name of these two unknown individuals, Ben Bagbag and Ben Hey? And the truth is that the answer is that we have to understand where the origin of these names comes from. And if we can understand the origin of these names, then we can understand who these people are. And then we can understand why it was them that were specifically chosen to teach these ideas. One of the ideas that's written is as follows from a Farshim Kasu, that all the commentators write Ben Bagbag Bechain Ben Hey Hamuskar B'Mishnah Haba, that these two Tanaim that were mentioned in these Mishnayos, Ben Bagbag and Ben Hey Hayugerim, they were actually converts. Ubiaru Atosos, and the Tosos explains Shenikru Kain Al Shem Avraham V'Sara Shenit Vasfeha B'Shmam Os Hey. An unbelievable idea. These were converts that had these names, or that were called this, because of the fact that they wanted to connect themselves to Abraham and Sarah Avinu and Imenu. How does this connect them? Well, let's look at each name separately. Ben Hey, how did someone get the name Ben Hey? Because of the extra hey that the names that were added to the names of Abraham and Sarah. Abraham, as we know, started off with the name Avram, and then he was given an extra hey to be called Abraham, and that's how we refer to him as. Sarah was Sarai, and Hashem gave her the extra hey to refer to her as Sarah, to show that Hashem is a part of them, that Hashem is a constant aspect of their lives. And so, say the Balei Tosfot, you want to know how Ben Hey received this name? He wanted to connect himself to Abraham and Sarah. He wanted to be just like them, where he felt so intertwined with who they were, and therefore he referred to himself as the letter that which was added to their names. He was Ben Hey. He was the two extra heys that that Abraham and Sarah's names were given. Where does Ben Bag get his name from? A similar idea. V'hainu ben Hey shehu ben Abraham ben Sarah. Okay, v'chein Hashem Bagbag o the gematria Hey. Where does the name Ben Bagbag come from? Which are the letters Beis Gimel? It comes from what the gematria of those letters are. What's the gematria? What's the numerical value of Beis Gimel? Beis Gimel? Well, just one of those Beis Gimels is 2 plus 3 equals 5. What's the numerical of Hey? 5. Evidently, Ben Bagbag also received his name because he wanted to associate himself with Abraham and Sarah. He wanted to be just like those Hays that were added to their names, and therefore, unlike Ben Hey, who took the literal approach and decided to be called Ben Hey, literally by the names by the Hays that were added, Ben Bagbag decided to take a slightly more backwards, or not backwards, but a more roundabout approach, and he didn't go with the Hey literally, perhaps because Ben Hey already got his name, but Ben Bagbag went by Ben Bagbag because the numerical value of Bag is the same as the letter Hey. You have to wonder now, what therefore is the lesson behind the fact that these two Tanaim wanted to so deeply associate themselves with Abraham and Sarah, and at the same time, why were these the ones to have taught us these ideas of how to approach Torah, of how to see Torah? That number one, when it comes to learning Torah, you have to keep going over and over and over it. And number two, that when it comes to internalizing Torah, it's all based on how much you're willing to put into it. You'll get whatever you give. I believe that there are two answers to this question, two ideas that we can relate to that associate each with both of the pieces of advice that Ben Bagbag and Ben Hey give us. I would say that lesson number one is as follows. Why is it that converts are specifically the ones to teach us like these ideas, that one should constantly be going over and over and over the Torah? Because converts are the first people that you would say would not have a clue about what the Torah is talking about. They have no background. They come nothing from Judaism. Now someone decides to convert to Judaism with no background whatsoever, and you would say that would be the person who probably would learn the least amount of Torah, because of the fact that it's just too much to handle. How would they be able to really understand it? But no. It's specifically converts that are teaching us this idea, because we need to understand that one does not require any background to learn Torah. You want to know how to learn Torah? Just sit down and do it. Oh, I don't understand what this means or that means. There are so many different pathways and portals that a person can be learning Torah, in particular in the year 2020 with so many English translations available. Everyone can learn Torah no matter what their background is. You know nothing, that's okay. Everyone has the ability and the possibility to learn Torah. That's the first reason why I believe that Ben Bagbag and Ben Hey were the ones, that converts were the ones to teach us these ideas that were so connected to Torah. I would say that the second idea is related to the fact of what their names represent, and that is Abraham and Sarah. And what I mean to say is, you want to know what you will get after you give so much to the Torah, after you spend so many hours and days and weeks and years and decades learning Torah. What will you get out of all of this? You'll get to the ikar, you'll get the main message of what the Torah is all about. What is the Torah all about at the end of the day? That which Abraham and Sarah spent their entire lives teaching. One, the idea of monotheism, and that is that it's so crucial for us to believe and follow God and have that deep connection with God. And number two, to constantly be a person who shares chesed and kindness in this world. It is these two ideas that I believe are the things that we need to keep in mind as we approach Shavuos, as we ask ourselves this question of, are we ready to receive the Torah this Shavuos? The answer is that it's a trick question. Of course we're ready to receive the Torah. How do we know that? Because anyone can learn Torah. Any individual can be learning Torah. They just have to be willing to put the time in to get it. But even someone with no background can learn and internalize the deep messages of what the Torah teaches us. And number two, as we begin to approach learning the Torah, we have to realize that the number one message that we are going to get out of this, that we have to find in it, is that it should make us better people. It should make us want to be kinder to other people, to do more acts of loving kindness to those around us. It is these two ideas that I believe we have to go into Shavuos with, to realize what an honor it is that even though this Shavuos will be different than every other Shavuos that we've ever had before, still it is the holiday in which we receive the Torah. And anyone can receive the Torah, and you need no background to do it. And realize that when we learn this Torah, it should empower each and every one of us to be better people, to love those around us, to be kind to those around us, and ultimately also to bring us closer to Hashem, not just us getting closer to Hashem, but that all of us together will grow closer to Hashem. Everyone should have a Shavua Tov, and God willing, a Chag Sameach in just a few short days.